The brain has three parts. Take a look here. Now we are going to discuss its first part. The forebrain is the thinking brain. It receives input from different parts of the body. The brain controls our thoughts, memory, and speech, movement of the arms and legs, and the function of many organs of our body. It plays an important role in integrating sensory information from various parts of our body. The forebrain performs different functions. It has the centers for visual reception, hearing reception, taste, smell, and temperature reception. Let me tell you about this. The forebrain is responsible for a variety of functions, including receiving and processing sensory information. Sense. What does it mean? Humans have 5 basic senses: smell, taste, sight, touch, and hearing. Impulse. What does it mean? Let me tell you. It is a short electrical signal that carries information or instructions between different parts of the body. When two persons are talking to each other, meanwhile, if something falls down, they instantly look at the thing. This happens with the help of sensory impulses. A sensory neuron carries message from the body's sense receptors to the relay neurons. The relay neurons then send the signal along the spinal cord up to the brain. After the brain has processed the information, the relay neurons run the signal down to the motor neurons, which are the neurons that affect the muscles' movements. Another example. Flickering of the light is a way to get the attention of the deaf people. When it flickers, they immediately look at it. This happens with the help of sensory neurons. Let's take another example. Whenever we smell something, our nose and brain work together to make sense of hundreds of very tiny invisible particles that are floating in the air. We identify the smell very quickly in no time. The brain does all these activities very quickly and sends information. This is how we get sensory information. Let's take another example. Sign language interpreters facilitate communication between people who are deaf and people who can hear. While interpreting, the interpreter has to interpret what the speaker says at the same time as the speaker is saying it. It's not that easy. It is a difficult task. An interpreter listens to the speaker carefully and they neutrally and impartially render messages from one language into another. They also need to think of appropriate terms while interpreting simultaneously. Simultaneous interpretation is a mode of interpreting in which the interpreter converts what the speaker says into the other language in real time without disrupting the original flow of delivery. This process happens in the brain with the help of sensory nerves. Another example. Our brain is continuously involved in the process of memory storage. It receives several pieces of information and stores valuable information in the form of memory. Brain will find previous information it has and correlates these to understand the new impulse. After all this information, brain will decide how to respond, like to enjoy the good smell or to cover the nose because there is foul smell. All these activities happens in the brain very quickly. As per the instructions of the brain, different parts of our body move and react. Sensory organs are organs of the body that access those sensory capabilities and help us become conscious and respond to our surroundings. Interpreting takes lots of mental efforts. It is a transitional activity in which one produces a first and final translation on the basis of a one-time exposure to an expression in a source language. They need to think of appropriate words of the language that needs to be translated instantly. Simultaneous interpreting is not done at breaks. It is done at the same time of the exposure to the source language. Our brain does all these activities, and for this, a very strong control and coordination is needed.